in terms of, you mentioned, your focus is doing stuff that is really creative, inspiring for you and fulfilling, and like,
Yeah.
do you find there's space to fully execute that vision, or is there a concession period, or is there compromise? And because I love the idea of Canadian television, and I really support its role in terms of maintaining our culture and so many other things that we can get into. But I watch a lot, and I don't find a lot of Canadian television that I connect with, and it's so frustrating because I see a lot of talented people, and I read a lot of good stuff too, and I think, why doesn't this actually make it up on screen? And
Oh, that's been, I would say that executing the vision is the most challenging thing, because, we don't say this often, but I'll say it for you. Little Mosque is a really great show that's been made in Canada, but it hasn't gotten, it hasn't achieved the voice that we really want it to have in the world, and we're in season 5. And I think that it's, when you're bringing a lot of people in, and I mean just a lot of people, you can have a vision, but you have to count on other people to help you execute it. And it's not that, in that particular case, it's interesting because it's not that people don't love it and want to execute it. It's just extremely hard to try to express exactly what you want and put it in the hands of somebody else to execute it, be it writers or your producers or the other creatives that you're working with. It's very, very hard to translate your vision. And I think we're learning very quickly that the only way to really, if you look at the American model with, whether it be Mad Men or, you name it, it is a person who owns that vision 100% and then goes about show writing and executing that. And I think that's the only way that we'll get with our next project. The vision that we want, that'll honestly break out, but it'll also take some confidence from the Canadian industry to throw that to people who, don't have that track record, who don't have that proven, who haven't paid their dues, right? And in the States, they're far more likely to do that, to find a young person who they think, wow, that guy's got a great idea, an original concept. Give them some development money. Let's see what happens. And then if they can get traction on that thing and prove themselves in a pilot script, right? Not in a body of work which proves that you can write. They throw it to these young people or not as young people, and out comes something magnificent. It's not a guarantee, but at least if you can own that vision from the written word to what's on camera, I think that's half the battle. That's half of the recipe to success.
But I'm curious, when you say that you don't really connect with the content that you're seeing on Canadian television, is it because of its execution or because of what it's talking about?
I'd say more what it's talking about. I don't have that same sort of Canadian cringe that a lot of my generation do, and there's sort of like, that disconnect between the American aesthetic. But I look and I see either shows that are sort of pseudo versions of American television, yeah, or really distinctly Canadian and sort of regurgitating old Canadian tropes and stereotypes,
right.
And that sort of old guard. And I sort of, what would appeal to me is just like a really authentic, original story that isn't trying to be anything. And I just think we have a really intelligent Canadian audience. This is an audience that triumphed Ogoyan films and a pumpkin Bruce McDonald, so give them a bit more credit. I think we can see through some of the facelessness.
So do you have an original, authentic idea?
You want to pitch it to us?
I think I'll save it.